Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 24 minutes after the hour, y'all. The segment's being brought to you by My Computer Career. Listen, family, if you don't absolutely love what you do, make sure you go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today and become an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Ladies and gentlemen, this man needs no intro on our show. You hear him every morning dropping knowledge and a word from God. Please help me give it up for Friendship West, our pastor, Dallas, Texas, Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes III.
Hey, what's up, my family? How you doing, Rickey? How you doing, family?
Man, Pastor Haynes, I saw you had called me. I missed your call. I apologize, Pastor Haynes. You know I would always pick up the phone when you call. I really appreciate you and getting up at 4 o'clock every morning to give all of the listeners a word every morning when we do our praise break. And I know you got to be tired after the events of the past few days. And thank you so much for making time for us. So,
oh man, this is my honor. Thank you so much, man. You know, I love you and I love the morning show family, and I appreciate you, man. Just know I'm praying for you, and you mean a lot to me.
Yes, sir. You mean a lot to me too, Pastor Haynes. Thank you for being such an awesome pastor, big brother, mentor, Divine Nine, everything. We just absolutely love you. So, you know, and after a march at the Texas State Capitol in Austin on Saturday, you went to Washington to join other activists who are pushing for federal voting legislation and fighting for our democracy. For those who did not see the news, some of those attending the rally at the Capitol, you were arrested. And, a lot of people was arrested, including you. What happened?
Well, Rickey, we joined with Bishop William Barber, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and many activists, the Poor People's Campaign led by Bishop Barber, to stand in the nation's capital. We marched from the Supreme Court to the Capitol. We went to the Senate building where we demanded to meet with Senator Manchin, who, of course, is standing in the way of passing the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which is still being written, I should say, not to mention the For the People Act, which has been written. And Manchin, who signed on to it before the last election, now is not willing to sign on to it. So that questions his motives. And so we went basically, we've been standing for voting rights because of the fact that if you're going to live in a democracy, the essence of democracy is the right to vote. But we are discovering in Texas, Georgia, the other states that have tried to pass bills that erect barriers to the right to vote, especially for communities, that what Senator Raphael Warnock is saying is correct. And that is there are some people in this country that don't want some people to vote. And so we have decided to basically relive the tactics, the brilliant sacrifices of the 60s, where our ancestors said, we're going to march, we're going to make noise, to use the language of John Lewis. We're going to create good trouble so that we can protect the right to vote. And so last Saturday in Austin, we had a massive march and demonstration, and we took it to Washington, D.C. on yesterday. And when the police asked for us to move out of that area, we refused to move. And as a consequence, we were arrested fighting for freedom and the right to vote.
That is so inspiring, Pastor Haynes. And, you know, we got to hear a clip of you addressing the crowd earlier this morning, and it was so moving. And we know that Texas House Democrats have been in Washington for weeks, and that's right. A pretty significant amount of time. What are they hoping to accomplish by being there, especially for that extended period of time?
And I'm so proud of them. They are heroic because they are making sacrifices on so many levels, contrary to what the governor, the lieutenant governor, and others in Texas are saying. They are not quitters. They refuse to cooperate with injustice, and they brought their case to the halls of Congress here in Washington, D.C., and they are pushing Congress ahead and pass the For the People Act in the filibuster, finish the John Lewis Voting Rights Act so that we can protect the sacred right to vote. Texas, along with other states, again, is erecting barriers targeted to certain communities that they don't want to vote. And I think it's just sad. It's sinful. And so I'm so proud of our representatives because they are here. We met with them yesterday. They came to a worship service on last night where we tried to encourage them. And they are here making the case that Congress needs to go ahead and the Democrats need to grow a spine and do what needs to be done to end the filibuster so that we can go ahead and pass voting rights legislation. And we need President Biden. President Biden said black people have always had his back, and he's going to have our back. Well, this is what we need. This is what we mean when we say have our back, because if we lose the right to vote, then as far as I'm concerned, we've allowed fascism to win, and we can't afford for that to happen. We have fought too hard and sacrificed too much for fascism to take over.
Pastor Haynes, do you think enough pressure is being put on the president and his administration and Senator Joe Manchin? Are you feeling shift in movement, and are they, what progress you think is being made? Because I'm talking about, man, these state houses are really, really going after voting rights. How do you think we're doing?
Well, I think that, we're starting to make progress. Yesterday, Senator Raphael Warnock came out to the march with us, and he told Representative Jasmine Crockett out of Dallas, Texas, and myself, he said, I need you to know that you all are being heard and the pressure is being felt, so keep it up. And he said, I can't, tell you everything that's going on, but I can let you know that everyone is hearing what's going on. And so you keep up the pressure on the outside, and it's going to make a difference on the inside. So, Rick, I do believe that they feel us, and I think it's very important, just as Martin Luther King Jr. during a Democratic administration of Lyndon Baines Johnson, took to the streets and marched. And Lyndon Johnson even said, go make me get this done. So they want us to put pressure on them. And listen, we are more than happy to supply that pressure.
The stuff that you or Pastor William Barber, who literally bring tears to my eyes when you just see the logo. Sir. The Poor People's Campaign, man, that just stir my entire soul up just whenever I see him on any interview. And he, even with the health issues that he is everywhere doing stuff. And Reverend Al and Reverend Jackson and Senator Warnock, man, I'm just so proud to see y'all continue the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and everything that y'all fight for. And it's a shame here it is 2021, and we still here fighting for some of the same things that Dr. King and everybody died for, but we just have to continue to fight. And thank you so much for your leadership, and we really appreciate you and all that you do for us and the communities that you serve. Pastor Haynes, let everybody know what can we do to support you. What do you need? Let us know how we can reach you.
Thank you so much, Rickey Smiley. And, man, thank you because you give this platform because I know it's in your DNA to fight for civil rights. I mean, when we met, that's what you were talking about, and everyone knows that you're a genius of a comedian, but at the same time, you take very seriously the fight for civil rights. So, man, thank you so much for that. I'm asking everyone.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say, I'm asking everyone, what you said earlier is what we need to do. We need to put pressure on Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema. We need to call the White House. And so because they still listen, I promise you they do. And so I'm asking everyone to call Senator Manchin. You don't have to be from West Virginia. Call Senator Sinema. You don't have to be from Arizona, and register with them your commitment, your determination to stand up for the right to vote, and let them know that we need to pass the For the People Act, we need to finish and pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and especially let Senator Manchin know we want an end to the filibuster. The filibuster has never been used for good in this country. It's always been used for bad. It's been used to stop voting rights for black people, for women, and we need to put pressure on them. And I promise you, when their offices start receiving phone calls on top of phone calls that say, hey, in the filibuster, pass the For the People Act, I promise you, they will respond to that, because they count every phone call and see votes behind that. And we need to let them know that there are votes behind these phone calls.
Hey, love you so much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, Dallas, Texas, as we call it, the Wild Wild West. My pastor, y'all. Y'all give it up for Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes.
Pastor Haynes!
Love y'all. Love y'all.
Love you too, man. We got Bakari Sellers sitting in for Jeff Johnson with 3 things you need to know. Coming up next, Rickey Smiley Morning Show.